In 1976, Osama's older brother Salim bin Laden hired a man in Texas by the name of Jim Bath to handle all the investments in the United States for the bin Laden family. Jim Bath also happens to be a personal, almost lifelong friend and former Air National Guard pilot with George W. Bush. The connections between the Bushes and the bin Ladens become much more clear when George Herbert Walker Bush made trips to Saudi Arabia in 1998 and 2000 to meet with the bin Laden family on behalf of a company called the Carlyle Group.
We can understand, therefore, why the Commission, under Zelikow leadership, would have ignored all the evidence that would point to the truth, that 9/11 was a false flag operation intended to authorize the doctrines and funds needed for a new level of imperial mobilization.
Listen up. The individual is handicapped by coming face to face with a conspiracy so monstrous he cannot believe it exists. J. Edgar Hoover, August 1956. 9/11 was the date that our freedom was taken. Free him and wake him, over beats with my cadence. Say this isn't truth, but I'm afraid it is. Change the script with facts, I even made a list that I can share with you and hopefully convince you about the illegal wars that got us into. George W. Bush was lying to our faces. WMDs, we can't find the traces. Hundreds of thousands we slaughtered with gun shells. September 10, 2001, Rumsfeld said over 2 trillion was unaccounted for. In the Pentagon sounds the sounds of war, cause the very next day the 2 towers fell. Plus building 7, we spent 2 hours in hell. Now I rebel, but what a coincidence. We never heard it again, that's a synthesis. We may never know the truth, it's classified. Don't act surprised, all these fascists lie. They have their own agenda, sly devil's truths. Justice for the people, 9/11 truth. Deceive the whole nation for their own interests, and we paid the price, that's why I'm so vivid. If I'm wrong, strike me dead, let me sit by God. When I say 9/11 was an inside job, the North Tower was struck in day 46 when Flight 11's plane 747 hit. Had the whole country pissed in shock and awe. This ain't a normal event, some shit is popping off. Remember the day I was in the 9th grade, and my economy class seems like a nice age that has gone by. It left our world changed, it's always on my mind in the worst ways. I see horrific images when I close my lids. The Bushes and Lions had business and oil rigs, not to mention that the CIA molded them and funded weapons for him to fight the Soviet Union from 79 to 1989. He led the Mujahideen, the shady right. Yo, a fool that fed lies in that podium. We murdered thousands for pipelines and opium. We may never know the truth, it's classified. Don't act surprised, all these fascists lie. They have their own agenda, sly devil's truths. Justice for the people, 9/11 truth. Deceive the whole nation for their own interests, and we paid the price, that's why I'm so vivid. If I'm wrong, strike me dead, let me sit by God. When I say 9/11 was an inside job, the South Tower was struck in 903 exact. By 10:28, both twin towers collapsed. At 5:21, building 7 turned to ash. Smirk and laugh, you didn't know about the 3rd attack. That's how good corporate media is at the job. Show you only what they want you to, a mass facade. They found traces of thermite explosives. At ground zero, hope your third eyes are opened. I see a false flag attack like the Gulf of Tonkin. To indulge in profit, the skull and bones in office. Even engineers and architects said it was a controlled demolition. So question experts' wisdom, the truth is scary, like a soul's exorcism. Picture Webster's dictionary definition of a two-faced snake depicts Lucifer's face. Who's to blame? Nobody but the human race. We may never know the truth, it's classified. Don't act surprised, all these fascists lie. They have their own agenda, sly devil's truths. Justice for the people, 9/11 truth. Deceive the whole nation for their own interests, and we paid the price, that's why I'm so vivid. If I'm wrong, strike me dead, let me sit by God. When I say 9/11 was an inside job,
I seriously question an increase in the Pentagon budget in the face of the department's recent Inspector General's report. How can we seriously consider a $50 billion increase in the defense budget, when DOD's own auditors say the department cannot account for $2.3 trillion in transactions in 1 year alone.